It's 11/11/2022, 11th November 2022, and we are live tonight on Ubuntu Sports, bringing you nothing but everything that has to do with local sports here in Zambia. And we have a lot of things to discuss today. The African teams at the World Cup, the 10 people that have been shortlisted for the Chipolopolo job, and also we'll be looking at the fixtures and also the results of the Zambian Premier League. And joining me tonight, I'm joined by Lawrence. Lawrence, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Good evening, Reuben, and good evening to our viewers watching us.
Thanks. Mr. Abia, it's a Friday again. Good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reuben. Good evening, Mr. Reuben, and good evening, Lawrence, and also good evening to the viewers.
All right. Thank you very much to our viewers. Don't forget to tag as many people as you can and share this broadcast. Tell them that Ubuntu Sports is live once again. Tonight, we've got a lot that we'll be discussing with the gents in the studios. And also, if you want to participate in this program, you can type in your comments and we'll be able to read them and also react to them. Gents, let's start the program, shall we? Because a lot of things happened in the week, but let's start with one that made the headlines. Let's start with the Copper Queens. So they went to the airport, and then they were chased, or they got stranded on the airport, being told you don't have the visas for a bypass in the US. Lawrence, I want your quick comment over that.
It's now becoming embarrassing for fans. I think by now they should know this. It's embarrassing. It's the second time we're hearing of visa glitches in a space of about a month or so, and it's really embarrassing. At most, it's very embarrassing, and we do not expect a football association to continue having such kind of glitches as it has been happening. It's really not normal, and we should not take it like it happens. No, it should not happen. I don't think you've ever heard of a European country getting stranded twice in 1 month because of visas. I think let's please just save ourselves some embarrassment. But anyway, I think they found a route that does not require them to have visas, and we were told the Copper Queens will travel in batches. But I think the preparations are already being hampered here for the World Cup next year, because we failed to play one of the best teams in the world in Netherlands because of the lack of preparations on the parts of the football association and however is involved in this kind of thing. And really, I think we should have a situation whereby we have some proper planning in terms of these some of these issues, so that we avoid such embarrassments. Because really, as a country, we should not be hearing such kind of a thing. Even at club level, we should not be hearing this kind of a thing.
Indeed, Mr. Abia, what's your reaction to the story?
For me, I'm very disappointed because the Copper Queens friendly against Netherlands were failed because of the same reason, visa card, whatever. And again, it has happened in the second time. This means that FAS is not learning a lesson from what has happened last time. We will see this again when Zambia want to departure for New Zealand to play FIFA World Cup. We will see the same scenario again. So I think we need an improvement at FAS. We are crying foul for them. Please improve your system. There is no way the team has start off on Wednesday and on Monday we're just quiet. The team has no visa card. Why? So I think we need to change so that when it comes to a team to go to New Zealand, we need to hear that the team is full geared and everything has been settled out. This is a really disappointing team like FAS doing it twice. We'll see it in the third time going to New Zealand. We don't want that.
Indeed, it's embarrassing. Lawrence, there are some people that were advocating that maybe the members would have helped by using Air Mukwai to go to.
am quite as usual. Am quite actually. I think am quite can be found somewhere near Mununga, somewhere there in northern province, Muchinga province, somewhere there. You will find it. I think probably they could have helped us.
But on a sad note, Lawrence, we heard that Martha Tembo and also is it Mother Tembo? Yes, that lost the mother. On a sad
Yeah.
note, just take us through that story as well.
Okay, I think most of us came to learn of the passing of Martha Tembo's mother via social media from posts from friends and all that. And one of them leading the condolences was our very own goalkeeper, that is ZSL Nali, who was also passing our condolences to Martha. And we also from Ubuntu Sports would like to do the same and pass our condolences to Martha Tembo and the family for that loss. And we wish them God's comfort in this trying moment, and hopefully hope to see Martha back and ever smiling as always. Back to ourselves, though I know it's not easy to lose a parent like that, and it always has to touch you, especially when it comes to a mother. I think we all know that it's a very trying moment, when such kind of a thing happens, and therefore we really wish Martha all the best and God's comfort and God's grace in this trying moment. This is coming entirely from Ubuntu Sports and the entire Ubuntu family. Thank you.
Thanks. And also here, Lushomo won't travel because he will be with Martha, because they're good friends with Martha. But gents, let's look at the upcoming World Cup, and let's look at the African teams that are at the World Cup. Of course, only 5 countries can go to the World Cup, and so far it's only Morocco, Tunisia, Ghana, Senegal that are going to the World Cup. How do you sum it, Lawrence, so far?
Well, all in all, I think time will come when us as Africans can claim some more slots at the World Cup, as 5 is not even representative of the 50 or the 54 countries that we have in this continent. And yet, Europe has got lesser countries and yet more slots at the World Cup. And it all comes down to the performances of the teams that we always send there. And I think time should come where, as Africans, we redeem ourselves so that we can have a stake of claim to say we need some more slots. So probably, I think 7, 8, somewhere there. If we can go to that number, I think will be a good thing for Africa as a whole. But all the same, we can only have 5 as things stand. And Ghana, Cameroon, Morocco, Tunisia. They are all going there to represent the African continent, and we hope that they have a great tournament as a whole, and bring us pride to the African continent. Though I think there are some countries that actually do not want some. There are some African countries, I should emphasize, that do not want some other African countries to perform well. For example, we were just having a football discussion this afternoon hosted by one of South Africa's radio stations, and the South Africans seem to have some kind of beef with Ghana, and they are actually very blunt about it and saying, well, we hope they come back. In fact, we hope they don't reach the World Cup. Something should bring them back home. Not really that they should die, but something should bring them back home so that they can feel the pain we are feeling and all that. But this is where we are. It's competition. Sometimes you win some, you lose some, and sometimes you lose where you didn't expect to lose, and in circumstances that you did not understand. And I think that is the case for the South Africans, and therefore they're still holding some sort of a grudge against Ghana. But we hope that African teams in general perform very well. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention Algeria as well, going to the World Cup as well.
It's Tunisia, not Algeria. It's Tunisia. So we have two North African teams, and then we've got three from West Africa. Yes. So Senegal, Ghana, Cameroon. These from West Africa, and then we've got Tunisia and Morocco. Yes, Tunisia and Morocco representing the North Africans. So, Mr. Abia, just help us understand what is really happening in Southern Africa and East Africa, because it seems like it's the same teams that go to the World Cup.
Consistency is the only thing that can improve football in Southern Africa. You know why I have just jumped on the word consistency. If you may see, in 2012, Zambia won AFCON. What happens after Zambia winning AFCON?
Everything went
you see that? We were underperforming. You see? What I think there was another year which South Africa won Africa Cup, isn't it? After winning that, what happens to South Africa? They also did the same thing like Zambia.
Well, I think for South Africa, after winning the Africa Cup of Nations, that was in 1996. They made it to the World Cup in 1998, and I think they didn't perform that bad. They weren't that bad. At least they left a mark for at the World Cup in France '98. Unlike Zambia,
right.
we can't even we were there, but we couldn't even make it to the World Cup.
All right, thank you. But the thing is consistency. Southern African team, they lack consistency. Today they perform good, tomorrow they will retardate. You see that? So I think if we improve ourselves, because you know, to my Southern Africa, like if Zambia is doing well, you see, if Zambia is doing well, the other side they are pulling Zambia. They are wishing Zambia to what? To disqualify or to you see that? This is not a good spirit for African region, Southern African region. You see that? I remember when Zambia faces South Africa at WAFCON, the match officials made a wrong decision by giving South Africa a penalty. You see that? But South Africa and Zambia had no choice to do in the pitch to say this penalty you have awarded to us as South Africans. This is not a penalty. No one can say that. If the penalty was awarded to Zambia, Zambia would have gone ahead and scored that penalty. You see that? So the thing that we need to do is to urge our match officials and Zambian FA, Southern Region FA, to have a good standard of football quality about officiating of the game. I have seen some poor officiating, including the clubs. You see that? This will improve football in Southern Africa and in Africa as a whole. In Africa as a whole.
What of East Africa, Mr. Abia? Because it's the same thing. We don't see teams in East Africa also qualifying for the World Cup. We don't see the likes of the Ugandans, the Tanzanians, Rwandese. We don't see them at the World Cup either.
Yeah, it's true. You will not see them in the Africa Cup because the thing is sometimes what I have just said, that consistency is the only thing, and then unity. You see, you can have good names in your team, but if there is no unity in that team, you cannot prosper.
Thanks.
You see?
Point taken, Mr. Abia. Point taken. Lawrence, just the same question with you. At some point, as the Southerners were saying, Mr. Hayatu favors the West Africans. That's the reason why they go to the World Cup. They're always qualifying for the Africa Cup. But Hayatu is no more, but still the same thing that is happening. We have Motsepe actually from South Africa, but nothing seems to happen.
Reuben, I think let us just give it to our colleagues in West Africa, especially. I'm not so much worried about the North Africans, because those ones, I think, they are very very close to Europe, and it just takes a boat. You are in Spain from places like Algeria, Tunisia, somewhere there. You just need a boat and you are in Spain. But what it is that our West Africans, uh, they have really quite a developed game, quite the necessary exposure. If you look at the Nigerian team, you can pick out a good number, five, six, playing in for big clubs in Europe, and that kind of exposure we do not have it from the Southern African countries. Pick for instance in Zambia here. It's only now, I think, in the last 2 years we have seen uh, uh, a, an influx of our local players, our Zambian players, making it to the top five leagues in Europe. We have like here in Zambia, we have the likes of Patson Daka. We also have Emmanuel Banda playing for is it Lecce in Italy now. It's only now that we are having this. But if you are to look at the Nigerians, the Senegalese, and all those, the Ivorians, you look at them, they have got players scattered very well in Europe, such that when it comes for them to pick a squad for international duty, it's even easy. I can even sit down here and say, well, Senegal, the goalkeeper they should use should be Mendy. Yeah, men should do well. And obviously, we can even argue this out, where we say, no, but others will say, no, men should even be the captain. Others say, no, 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 no. Give the captaincy to Sadio Mane, because yes,
Koulibaly.
these are the levels our colleagues out there have gone to, and hopefully, with the way we have the exposure now, actually somehow it's a big thanks to SuperSport, because they are also getting our games and beaming them out there and showcasing Zambia to. The only bad part is that SuperSport is only available in Africa and a little bit of Asian countries, and that's all. But at the same time, at least it makes it possible that someone in South Africa, someone in West Africa is able to identify a Zambia and say, that one is a good player or that one is a good player. The only thing that we need now is make sure that all games are broadcast live so that we can expose ourselves. It's very important. Also, I think uh, when you look at the interest that our colleagues in West Africa have put in when it comes to running of football affairs, it's massive compared to us here in Southern Africa. Yes, the president of CAF is from South Africa right now. But if you were to ask at his election, how many stood for that position from Southern Africa? He was the only one. How many stood from Africa? How many stood from West Africa? You find there were four, five. It's because they have taken interest in the matters of football, and as such, they are gaining more momentum. And in campaigning, they are making sure that they are leaving a trace of what they are doing back home. Again, to add up to that, the former players from the West African countries, you can see what they're trying to do for their countries, how they are trying to help up their own kids and the youngsters coming up, so that they can help them. They see to it that they put a hand to it to make sure that those who are coming behind them also have a ladder. We can talk of Samuel Eto'o, who has built so much infrastructure in Cameroon from what he has earned. It's because of the heart that he has for the game as well. You look at the likes of Didier Drogba, who can even use the game to bring peace in the country. It's how much they feel they have the influence. Unfortunately, I think some of our former professionals do not know how much influence they have, and they have not utilized that to influence the game. And that is why we hope that the retirement of Enoch Mwepu should come and be the game changer in this kind of a line. Enoch Mepu should come and take the mantle, take the lead, and bring something that we've never seen from the legends coming back. Of course, I should mention that I'm impressed with what Christopher Katongo is trying to do there. We are seeing this. We are seeing some of these things, and it's very impressive. And if all the former stars can take up things like that, roles like that, I think we can go far. Create some of these academies, bring them up, train the kids as much as possible. Yeah, it's only the start. Give it 5-10 years, you will start seeing the fruits now, because we'll start to have progression from maybe the under 11s coming to under 16, somewhere there. We go to the bigger kind of teams and groupings and all that. I think that is where we need to improve.
Thanks, Lawrence. Let's go through the squads that have been assembled for these African teams one by one. If director can give us those squads so that we can just go through them. But we understand that Ghana is not yet prepared their squad. They've not yet announced their squad, Lawrence.
Yeah, Ghana have announced, actually, the Football Association for Ghana has announced this afternoon that they will publish or release their squad list on Monday at 11 hours. That's local time, that's Ghanaian time. That is more or less like 10. That is more or less like 12 hours Zambian time. So the Ghanaians will know who is making the 25-man squad for the World Cup trip, and we hope that by then we should also, as Ubuntu Sports, actually share with the viewers out there right on Facebook and other social media platforms.
That's all, our viewers. That's the squad for Cameroon. Lawrence, we've seen the people like Chupomoting, Vincent Abubakar in the squad. I hope they're going to perform.
Reuben, actually, interestingly, this time around, when the Africa Cup started in January, I was actually thinking, we saw Chupomoting coming from the bench because the coach preferred Abubakar to lead the lines as the striker. But the performances of Chupomoting for Bayern Munich of late have been very impressive. I think it gives the coach some kind of a headache as to who starts up front, looking at the system that he was using at the Africa Cup, where they only went with one striker and a 3 attacking midfield line. So probably it might call for a change of lineup, or I'm not sure. But I think as things stand right now, I prefer Chupomoting to Abubakar, I think.
Great. Lawrence, this is a team that Samuel Eto'o said they're going to play with Morocco in the final, and Cameroon is going to get the World Cup. Interesting. Abia, what are your thoughts over this team, Cameroon?
If I can look at the squad of Cameroon, it's a really good squad, but I have been watching Cameroon for some time.
Yep.
But their only let down is the midfield. They have only have problem always at midfield. And when the midfield is not working well, expect the defenders to be in trouble. So this is the thing that they need to control themselves right now, as they are heading to a FIFA World Cup, because the FIFA World Cup is a big tournament where you need extra manpower, so that when one gets injured, the other one will be able to take the job and do as fans expect to do. So this is always the problem for Cameroon, midfield. So if they can work on midfield right now, I think midfield always has been engine of football, because it protects defensive and also gives out balls to the strikers. So if they can work on that, they can really have a good competition to this year's tournament.
Thanks, Mr. Abia. Let's look at another squad, Lawrence. This has been for Cameroon.
I think, before we can even go to another squad, I think it's important to make mention of how good this team looks on paper. Starting from the goalkeeper, obviously Onana should obviously start all the games. Onana, who has been a great goalkeeper, playing his trades in Europe and having played for high-profile teams. We can also look at the defense, which for me doesn't look so bad, because I think I can pick up. Maybe Tool or something like that. Also, quite a good lineup. From the midfielders, I can talk of Anguissa, and forwards. I think in all departments they have got someone who we can at least relate to and know. I think on paper this Cameroonian team looks good, and I think should brush aside some of these teams. Of course, the top seeds of the groups are very difficult for us Africans to beat as usual, but obviously some of the teams we should be able to take care of.
Thanks. Director, if we can move to the next squad. Okay, this is a squad for Morocco, gents. Let's look at some of the big names. We've got Chelsea's Hakim Ziyech, also Hakimi from PSG, Lawrence.
It's interesting to know that Ziyech has mended his relationship with his coach at national level, which is impressive, because if you remember, I think Ziyech had refused to show up for national team at some point, and the coach declared him not ever coming back to the squad. But here he is back in the team. It's interesting and actually good thing that all differences put aside for the good of the country, and that is what we should see. I'm impressed that Ziyech is back. That's the biggest storyline for me when this squad list came out. Actually, that was the biggest news for me, and I think the Moroccans don't really have much of a problems playing some of the big nations from Europe and all that, or from South America, because their style of play is actually impressive. They're a good team. They're a good side. Mainly it's local players they have, and local players, and their league is actually doing very fine, and therefore the national team as a result also is doing fine. But it's interesting to see how Ziyech will fit in the squad after such a prolonged absence. Due to the differences he had with his coach, and good to see Hakimi traveling as well. Very good defender. Obviously, playing his strides with Paris Saint-Germain in France. So a hopeful squad that is.
Thanks, Mr. Abia. Your take on Morocco?
Yeah, Morocco has really assembled a good team. I remember last time when they played in the 2018 FIFA World Cup, they drew all the 3 games. And imagine drawing against Spain. It was really good result for Morocco, because.
But they came out.
Come again?
But they came out.
Yes, they came out because you know what? Drawing with Spain is really a victory on it. You see, they were a tough in the tough group. So if you can draw,
if I can tell you something, understand that losing one game and winning one game gives you the same amount of points as drawing 3 games.
But okay, I only see about drawing with Spain, because that group, the big team was Spain, and they drew. I think it was 0-0 against Spain.
They draw with Spain and beat some smaller teams. It could make sense that way, and that's what we want to see this time around. Where the small teams, these teams, especially these ones from Asia, we should be whipping them so hard so that they start to fear Africa as well.
Maybe it could be like that, but we wish them all the best because Cameroon, I think Morocco, they have been playing well since last edition of FIFA World Cup. They don't have that tumanta kuti uyu ni muzungu uyu valibe tumanta to the interference in terms of players they face or the team they face. They really give themselves motivative to play football. So if they can have that confidence, I think they can even reach in the last 16. So
Thanks.
I think I wish them all the best.
Thanks, Mr. Abia. Let's move to the next squad. We need to move quickly, gents, and I'm sure this is the last squad because we looked at three so far. So let's look at Tunisia. So this is the Tunisia squad. Most of the players for Tunisia, they are playing in the local league, actually. This also gives them an advantage, isn't it, Lawrence?
Exactly. And remember, at the start of the show, we were talking about what Southern African countries are not doing well. One of them is our leagues are just so less competitive of late, and it's not the case with countries like Tunisia. You know, I can pick on quite some players. For example, I think from the forward we should have a player called Jaziri from Zamalek, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Zamalek, we know, is doing very well. Continental level, national level, everywhere they are doing very well, and you don't expect their players to be takataka and the useless and all that. Their players are putting in the work, and this is where we need to improve also in Southern Africa. Let's ensure that we retain the best players. Unfortunately, here in Zambia, we feel our best players feel when they go to play in South Africa, then they have made a very big jump. Yes, financially they have made a very big jump, but when it comes to competitiveness, not so much. As a result, players feel like they are already there when there's still a long way to go. And it's just big kudos to Tunisia that they have managed to keep this kind of competition in the national team based on local based on players from the local leagues, just clubs within Tunisia supplying the national team with good quality material. That is what we want to see. Good quality material from clubs to the national team. Kudos to Tunisia for that.
Thanks, Mr. I won't allow you to talk about Tunisia. Let's move to the next one, which is the last one, which is Senegal, the Senegal squad. Because all of a sudden, the player that we've been talking about the whole week, Sadio Mane, isn't the squad going to the World Cup?
Yeah, it's a really good thing because the injury for Sadio Mane, I think for me, he can only miss the first game, but he can able to play the second game and the third game. So to include him in the squad, I think is a really good idea. I like it, and if I can see the squad for the Senegal, it's really almost the same squad that played AFCON, and some of them they played in the last edition of FIFA World Cup. So I really hope for the better for Senegal, but I'm really disappointed with the lineup for that for the team that has just been escaped right now, Tunisia. It's almost the same squad that has been playing with Zambia, drawing, losing. So I think Tunisia is the only team there and the only side that will come early in this tournament. I think they are not really prepared. But for Senegal, I think the squad is really impressive. I hope for the better for them.
Thanks. Lawrence, I don't know if you've taken note. All the 5 teams that are going to the World Cup this year, they're being coached by their local coaches.
Exactly. we spoke about this last week. Vane, let's keep it local so that we can develop ourselves. And like Tingo, we are getting coaches from out there, same quality as the locals. The only difference is the passport in Europe. We are not going anywhere. We are not.
All right. So talking about the local and foreign coaches, FAS has shortlisted 10 coaches, and only 2 are locals, and the rest, which is 8, are foreign coaches. Let me start with you, Abia. The only local coaches that we have on the list is Wetson Nyirenda Wada Wada, and also the last man that took us to the Africa Cup of Nations, Mr. Hona Janza.
I think by this time I will not waste time to bury the bush. I'll just go straight to the point. I'm urging first to go ahead and adopt Wada Wada as a Zambian coach. Why I'm saying this? I repeat, why am I saying this? Because of financial crisis that we have about paying expatriate coach in Zambia. We have come almost failing. I remember in 2012 when Karushawale hired Hebrena, there was discussion about the salary of Hebrena. You see that? The team is in the tournament of AFCON and they are here discussing about the Hebrena salary. And it happens with among Patrice Bomeo and the other guy. So I think Wada Wada stand a better chance. We can pay him. We cannot fail. He has also good mentality in football. He has a good relationship with the players. He can even make a good team, assemble a good team. Let's give him time, the way Senegal have done to give Rio Cisse almost about 8 years having with a team. I think we cannot fail even to qualify to the FIFA World Cup. Like today, we have employed this one, we have employed that one. He has his own lineup. That one we have also employed. He has his also own lineup. The important players are being skipped off. Why? Let's go ahead and adopt Wada Wada as a coach for 4 years. We'll see what will happen.
All right, Lawrence. 7 wants to come back. Despite those remarks, he said you misunderstood these remarks. He still wants to come back. He has got unfinished business. And also on the list, Lawrence, there is a former Chelsea coach in Avram Grant and former Ghana coach as well.
Well, I think first and foremost, I'll start with the Avram Grant. Let him not deceive us. Former Chelsea coach, whatever. The guy was with.
All right, seems Lawrence has got a challenge there. Mr.
Ghana.
Abia,
For me, whatever he did at Chelsea, that is club football. Kwameno, here we are talking. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying whatever he did with Chelsea at club level, Nivaku Europe, we don't need that reputation here. It's okay, he can keep it. It's his. We don't mind. Congratulations, whatever he achieved there. Here we are looking at African football, and we will judge him based on African football, and that is where we stand. And the guy is coming from Ghana. In Ghana, out of 20, if I'm not mistaken, 23 games, only managed to win 9. With all his knowledge from Chelsea, all his credentials from Chelsea, that is what he managed to achieve at Ghana, in Ghana. Ghana, which has got more exposed players, more exposed administrators and everything. That is what he could achieve. What more here? So the issue of trying to scare us to say former Chelsea, former what, for me, it doesn't carry water. Avram Grant for me is a big no. In fact, I think
also former PSV coach.
It doesn't matter. Congratulations. That is club football. That is European football, not African football. If he had coached Zanaco and achieved something with Zanaco, I would have even been happier. or if he had coached Kaizer Chiefs and achieved something with Kaizer Chiefs, I would have been happier than telling me I've coached Chelsea, because the kind of football we play in Africa and the kind of football they play in Europe is totally different. And besides, he was Chelsea coach for a short while, because I think Chelsea had fired Mourinho that time when he remained in charge. And how long did he last in that job? So we are, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. For me, Avram Grant is a big no. Sven also, I think sometimes when I talk of coaches who are just the same level with our own, the only different thing is the passport. He's one of them. I think Sven, if is he working even? I even forgot to check that if he has a job currently, because I think he's just looking for a job, and that is all. And we understand that. I think any job seeker would apply for a job, even where they left a bad name and they said the things before they left. They will go back when they are desperate for a job. I think that is one of the criteria we are seeing. We are looking at. We are using to look at Mr. Sven. So for me, it doesn't even carry water that he's among the shortlist. Honestly, that's a big no. The only candidates that I'm looking at right now in the Zambian job are Ona Janza and Wedson Nyirenda. These two. These are the two that we are supposed to be looking at and analyzing critically. Because if we had given these guys any of these enough time, though I think also Ona Janza, I think somehow decided to mess up a little bit. But anyway, if we had given these two some good chance so that they can also try to implement or have a project, like I said last week, if we can have a time frame of a project, we are trying to do this and we are going to give ourselves this much time so that we can achieve A, B, C, D, E, F, G. After this number of years, please judge us based on what we have achieved, because what we are working for is this. As things stand right now, we do not know the direction of Zambian football. We have not been briefed on what they are planning or what their objectives are, or what their short-term objectives, their long-term objectives are. We have not been briefed about that. So we are taking everything like it's do or die, and which is kind of bad, because at the end of the day, we are judging each and every coach based on that. So if we can have a project, give one of those. Though I too would favor Wedson Nyirenda. I think even myself, I would favor Wedson Nyirenda. If we can get Wedson Nyirenda, give him a project with a time frame specific. In this time, we are hoping that you achieve A, B, C, D. In this time, we are hoping that you achieve A, B, C, D. And so that by the overall, in the next this kind of years, we should have moved from here to there. And you communicate that with the fans so that everybody goes along with the project. That's how you move. Unlike the current situation, everything, what qualifier comes, we have to qualify, we'll be there. We have to qualify. When we fail to qualify, Kamanga must go. That is what is happening. After qualifiers come, we must qualify. We fail to qualify, Kamanga must go. Sometimes I sympathize with Mr. Kamanga himself, because he has not communicated to the fans what exactly he's planning, what he's working on, what his project is. And that is why every time, even when Johnny Seekers fails to perform, he blows the whistle before time at the Africa Cup, people will be posting Kamanga must go. That is where we are right now.
Thanks, Lawrence. We are in the last dying minutes of our program where we look at the ZSL results and fixtures. The big game for me this weekend, gents, is a team with a coach and a consultant versus a team without a coach, without a consultant. It's Zanaco versus Zesco. Lawrence.
Well, somehow both teams have not performed as expected this season, and those are big names, and there is some levels of performances that we always expect from them, but both of them have really underperformed according to our expectations. And them meeting this time around, I think it's one game that even confuses you. But all the same, I think the team without a coach have got all to play for and a point to prove than a team with a coach who have been underperforming. So at this point in time, I think probably Zanaco should edge this one.
As for me, also, I will not even waste time to beat the bush. This is a straight win for Zanaco. You know, one thing I have also discovered about Zanaco is that when this team is facing with a big team, they also play a better game. You can see the win from NAPSA. NAPSA says they are really a difficult side to beat them at their home backyard. This is a really stubborn team, but they managed to beat NAPSA. But now look at Zesco. They struggled to beat Butcon 3-2. You know, allowing 2 silly goals. So I think for me tomorrow, whether it's tomorrow or on Sunday, I think
it's tomorrow. Tomorrow 15 hours.
It's tomorrow 15 hours. Yes, Zanaco will carry the day. No doubt about it.
All right.
Yes.
This is a live broadcast, and you can refer to it at any time because it will be there on Facebook and also on YouTube. Let's also look at the team which is struggling in Chambeshi. They've fired the coach. They've got an interim coach who went and picked up points in Choma, which is very rare to happen, but they're taking on Power Dynamos, who are also coming from a loss at home from Green Eagles. And we're told there were some fights there, which is bad. But it's going to be Chambeshi without fans because they're also saving the ban. So Chambeshi versus Power Dynamos, Lawrence.
Well, as you have alluded to, Power Dynamos are coming fresh from a defeat, and they should be looking forward to bounce back. And bouncing back, they will do, and that is how I look at it. This one is a straight win for Power Dynamos. By the way, I think the win for Chambeshi last weekend was a fluke. I can say it was a fluke.
A win is a win. A win. A win is a win. But that. I think for me, Power Dynamo, they're really playing a good game. If you can see a rescheduled game that they played with Zanaco at Zanaco Sunset Stadium, they really played a very good game. They pressurized Zanaco until Zanaco have to sit back and defend for them to get the point. I think for Zanaco, for Power Dynamos, I think they will just edge this one. It's a free point for them. If they want to catch up with the league leaders, Red Arrows, this is a time. Beat Chambeshi, you have 22 points, you are level with Red Arrows. Then leave all the job to Red Arrows to do themselves.
Let's turn to Nkana, who are also struggling in the relegation. They're facing a Lumwana side, which is dangerous. Sometimes they score goals when you least expect, and they perform wonders as well. But it's this time I think Nkana just has to pick the points, Lawrence.
They'll be battered again. Those ones are losing again. I think the best result they can hope for is a draw at this point in time. At the rate they are going, the best result they can hope for is a draw. And this is something serious. Not that I'm enjoying it, but I really sympathize with Nkana. But I think things are not going well for them as things stand currently.
Mr. Abia, Nkana is at home, Pachilata, and surely because the other week Nkana will be playing against Power Dynamos. Surely this one they just need to pick up the points because the Power Dynamos game is going to be tricky.
They will be beaten again.
No. Listen to me, guys. Listen to me. The team that we are talking about here is in Nkana, the Red Devils, the Kalampa. You see that?
Yes.
The Kalampa right now, they are really coming bit by bit into the game. You see,
But
drawing at Inquiries was not easy. They really fought those guys. So don't underrate them. You are going to face us. Lumana, mkesena mulia. Pariapena ni pachirata. Tukesa. You know, record this one, Reuben. Nkana 1, Lumwana 0. Record this one.
Okay.
So that's the best you can do. One goal against one.
Yes, only one would be enough to bury a Luman. Tomorrow it will happen. Believe you me, we are getting 3 points at Luman.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Let's go to the Sunday fixtures because it's interesting. During the week we had Chicken Wandamina was given 2 games out midterm. Then the team refuted their allegations, saying no, we backed him, and they listed all the points. The Kawa Warriors will be at home facing a deadly side in Muza, who is also coming from a loss. Again, winning Muza at home is not an easy thing. But first, Fole Malembe managed to do that. Oh, sorry, Prison Leopards managed to do that after refusing to enter the dressing room for for Muza.
Whatever they are scared of in the dressing room, I don't know. But please, to all the other clubs, feel free. Use the dressing room. They are yours. We keep them for you. We want to receive you very well. You must feel at home. The dressing room is yours. Please don't change in the bus like what Prison Leopards did. But come on, what are they scared of from the dressing rooms? What? So
it was not about scaring. It's not about scaring. It's about what they found there. They just don't want to release the statement that this is what we found, because I think they really need some documents to come up with the evidence to say this.
There is nothing they found. Let's not make allegations here. There is nothing they found. Here the story.
They didn't even enter in the dressing room because they just decided to change in the bus. This is according to Baita FM. That's what they gave us as the report coming from Nakambala Stadium.
But is there something wrong to make your bus as a dressing room? Is there something wrong?
Then probably all stadiums should not have dressing rooms because all teams come with buses.
So I'm saying, if you have used your bus as a dressing room, if it becomes a problem, or it's a tactical?
There's nothing tactical there, Mr. Abia. What a dressing room for? Why do you have dressing room in every stadium? But Lawrence, I want you to tackle the fixture for Kawa Warriors versus Muza. This is going to be a tricky game. Kawa Warriors in the relegation, and everyone is surprised why Chicken Wandamina is in the relegation zone.
I think there were some placards being lifted by Kawa Warriors fans telling Zesco to get their chicken back. And it's obviously things have not yet worked out according to plan for George Wandamina there. But I think probably it might be too soon. He might be trying to get hold of the situation there and trying to understand what exactly he needs to do and how exactly needs to go about his duties so that things can go as much better as expected and all that. But it's interesting that they come against a high-flying Muza, unlike Nkana, who was expected to be somewhere fighting for the trophy, but are battling with relegation. And a lot of people expected Muza to be battling with relegation, but there they are actually flying very higher than what a lot of people expected, and that is the situation right now. And I think Muza should look forward to bounce back from that 2-1 defeat they suffered the last weekend, because it's unlike Muza to lose 2 games in a row. Come on, we can't. I don't think Muza can sink that low as things are right now.
Thanks.
It's not about thinking low. It's not about thinking low, Lawrence. It's about the game. You know, Cal Warriors is also coming from a loss to Kasanshi Dynamo. You see that? They lost away. They do you really they can go at Godfrey Yukachitalu there at the Cal Warriors. This is Cal Warriors. We are talking about
has been failing to pick the maximum points. That's the reason why they're in the relegations.
Yes, they are in the relegation, but don't think it will be just an easy game. Both teams are coming from a loss. So here to be a cracker. You see that? It will be a cracker, a very difficult game. Grass will suffer. But I think the best result for FC Musa can be a draw. The rest is a loss.
What?
FC Musa, yes. At
Are you
Warriors.
serious? Are you serious?
You are supporting FC Musa. I know. I respect you. But
that is asking their coach to resign. Why are they asking their coach to resign? It's because they are not performing well. Meanwhile, Musa is flying your dollar.
They failed to fly against the Prison Leopard. They failed to fly.
It was a small glitch. A small glitch. We are back on track. Back on track. Don't worry about that.
They are away at go to Fuyuka Starubwana.
Thank you very much, Tents. But before that, because that game will be played at 15 hours. That's Sunday, and it's in Kabwe. But before that, there'll be another cracker. The top two will be fighting in Prison Leopards versus Red Arrows. I don't know how to describe this because it's a correctional service versus the Zambia Air Force. Red Arrows have got 22 points and they're topping the group. The Prison Leopards have got 20 points. The one who wins the game tops the league. Lawrence.
It's going to be an easy match for Red Arrows. They should carry this one with ease. I know Prison Leopards are doing fine, but I think Red Arrows are also not playing. I think they have upped their gears after a slow start to the campaign, and I think this one should be an easy win for them. So I go for a 2-1 win for Red Arrows. Actually, I can give it a score.
For me, I'll have to remove the word easy. It will not be easy game.
Easy.
This Prison Leopard you are talking about, they are coming from beating the high-flying FC Musa the way the supporting team of my colleague here.
Musa are small boys. They have just come into the Super League this year. So I don't think actually whatever they are achieving right now, they are even overachieving, because even you, Mr. Abia, was expecting them to be fighting relegation at this time, but they are not. What they're achieving right now is already overachievement for me, and I don't mind. I know some of these big teams will come and beat them. It's expected because they are actually in the Super League for the first time in a long time, and obviously they will take time to adapt.
They were in the league last season. So it's not the best time. So let's look like this. It's not going to be an easy game. I think Prison Leopard versus Red Arrows, they have the same problem scoring at goal. These guys, they don't see a net. They don't see a goalkeeper. They only shoot whenever they come to shoot. So I only see a draw there tomorrow. Prison Leopard, Red Arrows.
They don't score. How are they on top of the league?
Come again?
If they don't score, how are they on top of the league?
Hey, watch Red Arrows the way they are playing, and watch the way Prison Leopard is playing. You only see if you are being scored in the game.
Let's welcome Lameck at this stage. Lameck, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports. Hi, Lameck, can you hear us? right. Seems Lameck can't hear us, but the game on Sunday is going to be a cracker. The one who wins takes up the 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 leadership of the table, and next week there will be another cracker because the Premier League just keeps getting better. It's a Copa Derby next week, so join us again on Friday when you come, and we'll be building up to that game. Gents, we at 1 hour mark. I need your concluding remarks. Let me start with you, Mr. Abia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reuben.
Mr.
I'm
Abed,
ready
before you give us
for
the concluding, before you give us the concluding remarks, just give us the fixture of the games that are taking place in the Eastern Province. I know my team, Chadiza United, is playing there. So, which other fixtures do you have for us?
All right, thank you so much. The game is on week 11 here at the first Eastern Division 1 side. And the game will be like this. Tomorrow, Saturday, Katete Rangers versus Panza FC at Omere Mumba Stadium, Omere Mumba Grounds. Young Kwazi versus Mikariri FC at Petauke Day Grounds. And Chipata City Council versus Prison Leopard at Old Bet Stadium in town, in the city. Chadiza United, your team, my colleague, versus Smiling Kids. The stubborn Smiling Kids at New Show Ground in Chadiza. And Sinda United versus Eastern Eagles at Karesa Ground. And Chipata United, this team was also known as Zesco Chipata last season. This Chipata United, they are facing with St. Francis at the Munga Ground there. And Emena Golden Stars versus Petauke United, the Randrods at Emena Day Ground. And on Sunday to be Lundazi United versus Katete United at Show Ground in Lundazi. And the Malambo United versus Mchirizi Nyimba United at Domondo Grounds. This will be this is the fixture for Eastern Division 1 week 11 fixture.
Who is stopping the league?
And as I am concluding, I really thank you for so much, viewers, for being with us. It's really grateful and an honor to be with you here at Ubuntu channel, and continue following this channel because we are going to give you everything in terms of football. As for the soccer fans in the EPL, no, not in the EPL, Zambia Super League, please, let's maintain our discipline.
ZSL.
Yeah, ZSL, Zambia Super League. Let's maintain our discipline, please. Let's respect the beautiful game of football. It really brings us together. Look, I'm from Eastern Province. In Eastern Province, we don't have a team from Eastern Province to present us in Super League. But we are really supporting team like in Kana, which is away, far away in Kitwe, right there. Because football unites us. So let's not support the term of pitch invasion. Please, let's respect it. In Kana Pachirata, I know we are winning. These guys, they are coming Lumwana. We are going to beat them. And next week, we are beating Power Dynamos. Thank you so much. Please, let's get this people. It's a free point for us. Power Dynamos is our young boy there. We are going to edge them. Thank you so much, Reuben, and my fellow panelists, Lawrence. I hope you have a good night today.
Thanks, Mr. Abia. Lawrence, your concluding remarks.
Well,
just game I be watching this weekend.
Thank you. Just an emphasis that we are just drawing closer and closer to the 2022 FIFA World Cup, the biggest showpiece in the world. And we actually are happy to see Africa being represented there. We are excited to see the caliber of the teams that have been assembled so far, with the exception of Ghana, who are yet to announce their squad. And we hope that preparations must go on as smooth as possible in the next 2 weeks before the showpiece can actually begin in Qatar. Now, that also brings us to the Women's World Cup that is coming next year. and we hope that the preparations which our national team, our women's national team, are trying to put in place go on as planned. Unlike what we have seen in the last couple of days, where we've seen glitches due to visas have made the headlines more than the games that we are supposed to play, which is bad precedence. And we hope that some of these things cannot happen, because the more we miss friendlies, the less prepared we'll be for the World Cup. And already we have missed it. We have missed a very huge chance to play a team like Netherlands, which we should have taken. On bay. And already today, I've seen a lot of women's national teams playing friendlies. I've watched quite a few. I've seen Canada draw with Bahrain. Just I think the game ended about 2 hours ago, 2-2. And I was hoping that we can be seeing our national team as well, our women's team also preparing in those lines, so that we can keep on the match fitness, the match sharpness, the cohesion in the team going as we are running up to the World Cup next year. Because remember, we are already in November, it's just December, and then we are already in 2023, and we do not want to start practicing and rehearsing and having friendlies right towards the end and towards the tournament, which would lead to unpreparedness and all that. So we hope that these issues are taken seriously, considerations are made and preparations are done well in advance before even a friendly is announced. Some of these things should be ready and should be in place. That is what we emphasize to fans. All in all, I will be watching the Zanaco Zesco game. I think this game deserves our eyes and should be watched by as many fans as possible, because these are two big clubs we have in the country, and these are two big clubs that are struggling in the country. So we want to see who is struggling more than who. I think it's important that way. All the same, good night to all our viewers. Good night to you, Reuben, and good night to Mr. Abia. Also, a big shout out to Mr. Lameck, who was trying to join us. Obviously, internet challenges couldn't let him, but a big shout out to him, and we see you, my man.
All right. Thanks, Lawrence. Thanks to Mr. Abia. But Lawrence, we can't go because Bwezan will kill us today if we don't sing the happy birthday, or we don't say happy birthday to him. He's one of the Ubuntu family, and Mr. Bwezan, we say a happy birthday. Hope Ama 1010 at Supersport is going to get you a cake. Who else?
Tomorrow, I think Ama 1010 should rename to "It's a God to Bwezani." Start for tomorrow's games, I think.
Yeah. So thank you very much to our viewers. But Ubuntu Sports is not ending now, so we're going to connect direct to the other studio, which is going to give us the updates on the cricket, Zambian cricket. We cross over just now. For us, it's good night.
Right, thank you very much for inviting me to have this interview regarding the cricket running in our country, Lusaka and Zambia. Looking at our cricket running in Zambia, to be specific, Lusaka, we have quite a number of competition running. We have Midlands Cricket Senior League running, very competitive league. We have about 24 teams battling it out. And the league started in April, and the first league finals and semi-finals have already been played. Recently, may I say about 2 weeks ago, Umkati won the A-League finals for Midlands Cricket Association. I must say, it was quite exciting. The reason being, we have a team which is unbeaten, which is Zumran Cricket Club. It has been unbeaten for the past 2 years, lifting the trophy of Midlands Cricket Senior League. And this year, the table has turned round by Umkati Cricket Club winning the Senior A-League Championship. And to me, it proves that our cricket is developing. Every club are working their weakness, and the cricket in the Midlands is getting competitive day by day, and more new players are featuring in the teams, and that makes our cricket more competitive, and I think we are going in the right direction when we look at cricket being played at Midland level. Quickly, I might also allow me to rush and talk to night cricket. This night cricket is specific for Metropolitan Sports Club, hosted by Metros, sponsored by Zumran Zumran Company. It is a company coming in, sponsoring the night cricket throughout in conjunction with Metropolitan Sports Club. It's quite very competitive night cricket being played. I think it's one of the biggest tournaments when you look at the following and the competitiveness, where we have seen some teams also bringing up professional players from India, Zimbabwe, nearby countries. And I'm sure this night cricket league, I think it has a very, very large following. And there's daily commentary, live commentary, and there's live telecast of the tournament running every evening. And I think this tournament is one of the tournaments which it has attracted a lot of following, and it is marketed from Zambia across the world, which I think Zambia has done so well through Metropolitan Sports Club by having this tournament running. So far, by next week, night cricket is going into finals, and I say semis and finals, which is next week, and I can see a lot of people are looking forward to watch who is going to be the champion. If weather allows, that is, looking at the season we are in, if the weather allows, I'm sure we'll be playing semis and finals for the night cricket, which is being hosted by Metropolitan Sports Club. And that is the second league we are talking about. Then we are going down now to Community League. We have Community League running here, as you can see behind me there. The Community League is running throughout, and this Community League is running for the teams who are not getting opportunity to play in the Midlands or night cricket. So we have a separate league for the community where teams come up together and play in the community, which is quite exciting. It started recently. At now they are still competing in some preliminary games, yet to go to the semis and finals. And I'm sure in the following episode we are going to look at standings, and we are going to look at points in all these leagues. I think it's important that, as we have mentioned, that every Thursday we'll make sure that we'll give you the briefing of what is happening into cricket, and we'll be making sure that in each and every league, starting from Midlands League, go to night cricket, and Community League, we'll be giving you the standings and the points, and maybe you can even pick up the outstanding players who are doing very well in our cricket circles. From here, I think we can also talk about the Junior Under-16 League in the community. There's a league running as well for the juniors, which is Under-16 League. There are about 8 teams playing as well in the Junior League, and it's also quite competitive, and we have seen players who are playing the Junior League now knocking the doors to play for the clubs, which is also makes every parent very happy to see that their children are getting to the next step and playing the league at that level. So far, these are the most important leagues which are running in the country, to be specific in Lusaka. When we go to developmental programs running for under-16, under-13, it's quite exciting that most of the time we see more kids are joining and seeing cricket developing, and it's an opportunity that most parents would ask you to send more and more kids at Olymp Africa. And I'm privileged today, I'm sitting with one of the parents who have his child playing cricket, and many others who come and play cricket. But it's one of the privilege which I have to sit with one of the parents and his child plays cricket. And I'm sure let's listen from him what he can tell us about it.
Actually, I'm so happy and I'm so impressed. As you can see behind here, we're having a lot of children who are at least practicing, which is so nice. At least instead of these children engaging themselves in illicit activities or maybe alcohol abuse, at least they have been given a platform where they can showcase their skills, and that's a plus in terms of helping, especially the government, in terms of children who are having a lot of misbehaving activities in homes, and at least even in terms of discipline. As you can see, this sport of cricket is not only a sport of maybe physical, but also it's a discipline where a child at least can develop mentally, physically, even in terms of health, even in terms of thinking capacity. At least it normally develops a child. So Mr. Malama, what you are doing, I think you please continue doing whatever you are doing, and as parents, we really support whatever you are doing, and we hope and trust that these activities which we are seeing behind can go countrywide. It's whereby at least each and every community is having this type of facility where children at least they are showcasing their skills in terms of cricket, because a lot of people have thrown in terms of support in terms of football, but at least with also cricket, I think the government and also the community can come in supporting cricket, because cricket is one activity which is very vital, or maybe which can also bring development in our community. Just like international cricket, you can see India is doing fine, Zimbabwe is doing fine. I think also Zambia can do fine in terms of cricket. So I think we should do, we as parents, I think we should support this type of initiative, which especially you, Mr. Maram, has initiated. And with those few words, I think I can just close up. Thanks.
Right, we thought to take time and talk about our whole cricket development for our country, which is Zambia. I think we have taken too much of our cricket and respecting our fast rating growing of our cricket, which is very good for all seniors, and the game is becoming very competitive. I'm very happy to say our Zambian cricket is sharing with many countries. For instance, we have a lot of Indian players coming here who are playing big tournament in India, district cricket from India. Some of them have played Ranji Trophy. Not forgetting, we have some players coming from Zimbabwe who have played under 19, some have played provincial cricket. They're all here in Zambia playing cricket, which is fast developing technically, and it has a large following, which I feel it makes our country and everybody happy. But we must now go back to the grassroots. The grassroots will make our cricket more permanent and make it grow, and it will grow such a way that it will create interest, and it will create more sponsorship, and it will create mass participation of the game of cricket. We have this year, next year, let me say another 2-3 years down the line, we may see some players phasing out. I physically have seen most of the team, players are playing above 40, 45, maximum of 50 years. They are still playing cricket in the senior league. Now the question is, this gap, we need to close it as quickly as possible. And the question is, what are we doing about it? 2023, which is next year coming, we must concentrate more now on the Junior Cricket Developmental Program. We are proud to say as an academy at Elite Cricket Academy at Olymp Africa, we are doing our level best in cooperating with other clubs, not forgetting our Midlands Cricket Association are really quite helpful, not forgetting companies who have been quite helpful. And we want to see more of young ones getting involved, especially our local players. When we bring the young ones, assuming the under 17, 18, under 15, involving them in the senior league by 2023, beginning of 2023, we'll see more light of our cricket development growing bigger and casting the net wider. And I'm sure by the time we get our ICC affiliate, I think we'll have quite talented players playing at any level. I believe my message is reaching all the clubs. My message is reaching everyone out there, especially the parents. It's time parents should release their children to practice cricket, get involved in cricket. And it's time the board members, Midlands Copperbelt Cricket Association, get involved and start involving these young ones in the clubs. We started from somewhere where we didn't know how to hold the bat, but we ended up today where we are by those guys who used to play and involved us in the game, whether we are better or worse, but they gave us an opportunity. Let's give opportunity. Each and every team, if we can have 3-4 young ones playing, don't you think it's a change? We should bring that change. Every team should have not less than 3-4 under 17, under 15s playing in the squad. I'm sure it's a big change. What we are seeing is, instead of bringing young ones, the older guys are coming into play. There will no change, our cricket will die. I'm so happy, so competitive, so good, our game is growing, but let's go back to our juniors. I'm looking at all the clubs to work together, let's unite and bring cricket back through development of cricket development. Thank you to National Olympic Committee. Thank you to Olympic Africa. Thank you to all involved in the game of cricket. And we are looking forward to share this knowledge. You pass it to others and see cricket grow. See you then.